in the 51st Annual Cotton Bowl Classic, New Year's Day on CBS Sports.
Talk about a team that had it all. The 1969 Baltimore Orioles. One player in particular I'm interested in, the scrappy second baseman, Davy Johnson, the current Met manager. Remember this? The last at-bat 1969 World Series, and it was Davy Johnson who touched off a huge celebration in the city of New York. Well, fortunately for Johnson, he got to enjoy a World Series celebration right here in New York this year. Brent Musburger relives the highlights of the summer game for 1986.
For Boston's Roger Clemens, the season heated up quickly. In late April, Clemens sent 20 Seattle Mariners down on strikes, breaking the old single-game mark of 19, held jointly by Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, and Steve Carlton.
Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game.
Bob Horner etched his name in the record books in July against the Montreal Expos by hitting 4 home runs. Horner became only the 11th major leaguer to achieve such a feat.
Reardon delivers. Sends a fly ball deep left center field.
But the season's single biggest blow came off the bat of Boston's Dave Henderson. The Sox were down to their final strike in the playoffs against California, and then Henderson struck.
There's a shot hit the deep left field. It's way back. It is good. A home run. A home run for Dave Henderson.
The Red Sox went on to win the game and the pennant from the Angels in one of the greatest comebacks in baseball history.
But more than anything else, it was the year of the New York Mets. They infuriated their opponents with their cockiness, their arrogance, and all their curtain calls. But the Mets backed it up. They were the best team in baseball in April, and there was no doubt they were the finest team in October. 1986 was truly a year to remember for the New York Mets.
The Mets took the National League by storm. They jumped to a 6-game lead by Memorial Day and were conceded the divisional title by July. New York didn't win, they dominated and sometimes insulted opponents. The Mets became the team others love to hate, but they backed up their swagger with their bats and sometimes their fists. With each victory, the headlines screamed of success, and New York fans loved it.
All the great people are either hated or loved. There's never seemed that middle line, and the New York Mets were just that.
The Mets faced Houston in the playoffs, and the Astros were determined to defend the honor of the rest of the National League. Houston stunned the Mets 1-0 in Game 1 behind Mike Scott's 14 strikeouts. The Mets won Game 2, and the series returned to New York tied 1 game apiece. Game 3, bottom of the ninth, 1 out. Astros leading 5-4. Lenny Dykstra at the plate.
Here's the pitch by Smith. Line drive toward right field. That goes past. Way back. Way back. It's out of here. The Mets win it. The Mets win it. Lenny Dykstra homer.
The last time I hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth for winning ball game was in Stratomatic, my baseball game where I rolled dice.
Houston evened the series 2-2, and Game 5 was a classic. Gooden versus Ryan, age versus youth, power versus power. The old pro and the young star, they matched heat for heat, strikeout for strikeout into extra innings. Both pitchers finally gave way to relief help, and the stage was set for another dramatic finish.
Here's the pitch to Carter. Line drive, that's it. Wally Beckman will score, and the Mets go to Houston leading 3 games to 2.
But in Game 6, the Astros led 3-0 entering the 9th inning. Mike Scott was ready for Game 7, and then it was Met Magic time.
Base hit. Mookie will score. Well hit to right center field. The game will be tied up.
They battled through 4 scoreless innings. Finally, in the top of the 14th, Wally Beckman gave the Mets a 4-3 lead. Now it was the Astros' turn for a miracle. Mets exploded for 3 in the 16th, a seemingly safe 7-4 lead. But in this series, no lead was safe, and Houston pulled a 7-6 with 2 outs. Now Kevin Bass had a chance to produce yet another Astro miracle.
Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Struck him out. Let's put it.
I've never been more drained physically. And it came from mental strain for 16 innings, knowing the importance of every ground ball, every at-bat, every situation. I mean, it meant getting to the World Series or not getting to the World Series.
But as the series began, it seemed that the Mets had run out of magic. Boston won Game 1, 1-0 on a Met error. Game 2 was Gooden versus Clemens, and that was all Red Sox as Boston pounded out a 9-3 victory and a 2-0 series lead.
I didn't feel like it was a World Series. We weren't ready to play baseball. We had exhausted all of our energies in the playoffs. Well, when we went to Fenway Park, I realized, hey, this is the World Series. Down 2-0, and all of a sudden, we said, this is a pretty good ball club. We better get rolling here. The key was when Lenny Dykstra hit that home run.
Here it comes from Boyd, and a swing and a high fly ball into right, maybe a home run. That ball is going to go into the seats and a 1-0 lead for the New York Mets.
Lenny hits the home run. Instant attitude change.
New York went on to win games 3 and 4, but the Red Sox won Game 5 to take a 3-2 series lead back to New York. Game 6 was tied 2-2 in the 7th, when Ray Knight seemed to throw away the Mets' chance to stay in the series.
It was such an easy play. The ball took a little funny hop, and I came out and I made that throw 45 billion times, and I don't know that I've ever thrown a throw like that away. And the ball just sailed, and with it sailing, my heart sank, and just the worst, most devastating feeling I've ever had.
The Mets rallied once more to tie the game, but the Red Sox playoff hero Dave Henderson struck again.
Swinging a long one into left field. That ball might leave the park. It's a home run, and Boston leads here in the 10th inning.
Now trailing 5-3 in the bottom of the 10th, it seemed that the Mets had finally run out of magic. Boston had the champagne on ice as they moved within 1 out of the World Championship.
After Keith made the second out, I thought we would be. I heard a lot of those guys say we would never be. We knew we could come back. Come on. You just can't come back forever. I mean, there's just sometimes somebody's going to put a stone wall in front of you that's going to stop you.
There's a line drive into left, and that's a hit. Breaking ball, base hit. The tying runs are on. Swinging a base hit to center field. Makes it a 1-run game. The pitch. All 3. Wild pitch. We're going to be tied. The ball went off the glove of the catcher. We're 5-5 in the bottom of the 10th. Ground ball to first. It is a run. An error by Buckner.
And coming home, I couldn't believe it. It was shot. I put my hands to my head like, oh, man, we won this game. How did we? Because 10 minutes ago, I'm over there. We've lost.
All that was left in Game 7 was another minor miracle. After falling behind 3-0, the Mets pulled even at 3-3 in the 7th, and then Ray Knight stepped in.
Swinging a fly ball left center field. Well hit. Gone. It's gone.
It was like I was dreaming. Hey, maybe we're going to win this thing.
8-5 Mets, ninth inning, 2 out, nobody on. The pitch, swing and a miss, and the Mets have won it.
That's the big touch of my career, because I'd had so much struggle that nobody really knew about. And as hard as I'd fought and worked in my baseball career, but finally I'd reached the ultimate and winning the World Series and being a big part of it.
Nothing's missing.
I can't believe it.
Low salt premium saltines. They taste so good you can't believe they're low salt.
I can't tell the difference.
Due to its special baking process, low salt premium has 40% less salt.
But still has salt on top. Yeah.
40% less salt and all that fresh, crispy premium taste.
Can I have some more?
Also try low salt Triscuit, low salt wheat thins, low salt Ritz. Your favorite great tasting crackers with less salt from Nabisco.
Asia after 60,000 miles. Europe after 40,000. Continental U.S. only 20,000 miles. Look whose frequent flyer program serves up the world faster.
Northwest. A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you never know.
Go! That's why getting into the Rangers is tough, and the training is tough. So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special. And I'm not the only one.
Find your future in the Army.
Hello, I'm Leona, your automatic teller. Can I help you with a student loan?
No, a car loan, Leona. Fast forward.
Home improvement loan.
It's a General Motors car. Don't get hassled when you finance a new car or truck. Get GMAC financing only at your GM dealer. Is there someone live I could talk with around?
Do we have one of our calendars? This is a farm calendar. We also have what they call a print calendar. If I can only find it.
There was one story last spring that had an unsettling effect on the sports community. It was the tragic drug-related deaths of basketball's Len Bias and pro football's Don Rogers. There were other notable figures from the world of sports who passed away in 1986 as well. And so as the year draws to a close, Gary Paul Gates pays tribute to some of the men and women who over the years have enriched our lives in one arena or another.
This is the site of the old Polo Grounds, the former home of the New York Giants, both baseball and football. It was here on a crisp autumn afternoon back in 1924 that a gifted Notre Dame backfield inspired the most famous sports lead ever written. When the Irish beat Army that day, Grantland Rice honored the event with a touch of a poet. And 62 years later, his words still live. Outlined against a blue-gray October sky, the Four Horsemen rode again.
In dramatic lore, they are known as death, pestilence, famine, and war. But in real life, their names are Stuhlrayer, Miller, Crowley, and Blake. The only trouble with being one of the Four Horsemen, no matter what else you did, you were one of the Four Horsemen.
Jim Crowley, the last of the Four Horsemen, died in 1986. And at Notre Dame once again, they woke up the echoes. In Texas and Detroit, they mourned the death of Bobby Lane, the first quarterback to master the art of the 2-minute drill. His Lion teammates like to say that Lane never lost a game, but there were some days when time simply ran out, and Bobby agreed.
I'm one person who hates to lose. I don't care if we're playing marbles or gin rummy or what we're doing. I like to be a winner.
Bobby Lane was a winner to the very end, but this fall his time ran out. Another respected veteran of the NFL wars who died this year was referee Tommy Bell, the Kentucky lawyer who pleaded for justice in courtrooms during the week and on Sunday afternoons imposed justice for small crimes and misdemeanors on the football field. The tragedy of